Now on Coast TV News.
The stormy weather is winding down. The rain will be replaced with sunshine, breezy, and cool conditions today and tomorrow. A warm-up for Thursday. Details coming up.
Unemployment insurance mystery, statements about ongoing issues with Delaware's program with no details over what those issues are.
Classroom to Council, we look at the bill in the Maryland General Assembly that could add student representation to the Wicomico Board of Education.
Overfall opinion, the reaction during a public hearing over one of the latest developments proposed for the Lewis area.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And we continue with our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us. It is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025.
Yeah, we are drying out all over Delmarva, and I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge that we have reached another milestone of spring. Today is the first day of April.
I know, and we haven't had any good jokes yet.
We had some off air.
Off air, yes, but as Bob mentioned, meteorologists can't really get away with, April Fool's jokes. Bob, I think that's a good call.
Can't wear green and can't joke about the weather.
No, you can't joke about it, especially when we're talking about the rough weather we had last night. And this is no April Fool's. We came away unscathed last night. We had that tornado warning yesterday evening. We had rotation in a thunderstorm, but nothing in the way of ground truth, nothing in the way of damage around the Seaford area or anywhere across Sussex County. We had gusty winds and a lot of rain. We had some wind damage up north near Dover, back into the Middletown area. Also, eastern parts of Virginia had some wind damage reports, but we just had a soaking rain. A lot of our area over an inch of rain. I'll take a look at those rainfall totals coming up. We had some thunder and lightning too, and then of course that tornado warning yesterday evening. But now we're beginning to clear things out, and it's getting windy behind a cold front. That front has now swept the rain offshore, and now we're getting into a chillier northwesterly flow as the skies are clearing out. You see the rain shooting off to the north and east, and it's breezy. We have low pressure moving out over us and then high pressure back to the west. So right in between, we have that pressure gradient, and it's cooling off now. 50 in Georgetown, 52 in Delmar, 50 in Salisbury. I think we'll be dipping into the 40s before we start to make that rise into the 50s again. But it's windy. We're seeing wind gusts at 28 in Salisbury, 36 in Ocean City and Indian River Inlet. So you have those items secured. Make sure you keep them secured this morning. Still gusty winds as the clouds are clearing out. I think we will see the winds diminishing as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures do recover into the upper 50s and staying, I think, in the low to mid 50s at the coast. So make sure the kids are bundled up this morning. It's going to be breezy, feeling cooler than that 50 off to school with the wind, and heading home breezy and cool, lots of sunshine, and 55.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this hour, proposed updates to Worcester County's master water and sewage plan. This includes changes at Ocean Downs. The casino is requesting its 100,000-gallon steel water tank be replaced with one that can hold 50,000 more. The commissioners will present projects that connect Mystic Harbor and Riddle Farm with the Herring Creek water main and the Mystic Water plant and building rehabilitation. There's a public hearing on all of this morning in Snow Hill.
Developing news out of Delaware state government. In a statement, Governor Matt Meyer and the Department of Labor explained that there are long-standing issues with the state's unemployment insurance program. They say recent audits have pointed out ongoing problems with the system's finances and operations. However, it is a bit of a mystery. No details over what these issues are was given. Both Meyer and Secretary of Labor say steps are being taken to bring the department into full compliance with both state and federal standards.
Happening today in Annapolis, we got more debate on a bill that, if approved in the Maryland General Assembly, could change the makeup of the Wicomico County Board of Education. At least one student would be added to the board. These would be students from 11th or 12th grade who are in good standing. In the student position, it would be an advisory role. They would not have the ability to vote on policy. The bill has been already approved by the House of Delegates. Today it'll get a hearing in the Senate's Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee.
Also happening today in Fenwick Island, the Business Concerns Committee will discuss upcoming events. According to the agenda, officials will hear an update on the progress of the upcoming Fenwick Bike event that's set for May 31st. The group will also review a proposed parking legislation. Today's meeting takes place at Town Hall in just a few hours at 9 a.m.
This plot of land that we're going to show you here on your screen, it's the latest that is targeted for development in Lewis. It's where the proposed Overfall Preserve site is located. This is off of Savannah Road. The city's planning commission is recommending a traffic study be done before any construction's there at this site. Monday night, CoastTV went to Lewis to learn about how people are feeling about all this, and there we heard mixed opinion about the plans.
Let the growth happen, but be relaxed about it. And if you think traffic's bad here, go to New York or Washington or Los Angeles. It's not that bad here.
This is a victim of its own success in that real estate is appreciating very much, which then causes people to say, oh, I want to build here, or I want to build a house here because it will naturally appreciate. The fact of the matter is you can go many places.
Yeah, we reached out to the developer on this project, have not heard back. According to the City Council, any other public comments can be mailed or emailed to the city through April 11th at 4 p.m.
We are now taking a live look at the Senate floor, where senators are in the 11th hour of a speech in protest of the Trump administration started by New Jersey lawmaker Cory Booker. The New Jersey senator says the nation is in a crisis and he plans to disrupt the normal business of the Senate for as long as he is physically able. Booker began his remarks at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday evening. The speech is not a filibuster because Booker is not blocking legislation or a nomination. As he spoke, Booker took questions at various points from Senate Democratic colleagues and was able to take brief breaks while he fielded those questions. It's not clear exactly how long he intends to speak.
Yeah, I think we saw one of those questions taking place there. Agree or disagree? Gotta admire the stamina there. As Booker is speaking in opposition to Trump policies, the president is eyeing up some key events this week.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, that includes special elections that are taking place today.
Today, as the nation barrels toward President Trump's most sprawling tariff plans yet against all U.S. trading partners.
Whatever they charge us, we charge them, but we're being nicer than they were.
Businesses across the country worry how taxing their imported materials and ingredients will drive up prices for American consumers. From car dealerships,
we are already bumping into affordability issues with the cost of interest rates right now.
To distilleries.
We as a manufacturer, there's a lot of times where you have products that you can't really get in America.
And bridal shops.
Some designers have already sent us tariff costs, and some have decided to hold off.
Amid the uncertainty, elections in 2 states today could offer a glimpse of public opinion on the president's agenda so far. In Wisconsin, Trump advisor Elon Musk has poured millions into a state Supreme Court race.
He's buying it. He's trying to buy the election.
That could lead to redrawing the key battlegrounds' congressional maps.
There are other races, that might be swayed by what we decide here too. So we need to keep fighting.
While in Florida, special elections decide who fills 2 congressional seats left vacant by Trump appointees, with Republicans eager to protect their razor-thin House majority. Some are voicing concerns over the Trump trade war's economic impact.
It should be a level playing field. But I think in the end, a trade war doesn't help anybody.
The White House short on details so far about how much each country will be taxed in this newest round and on which products, promising answers in a Rose Garden event tomorrow. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A group of Democratic senators set to force a vote today. This would be on a resolution to eliminate the Trump administration's tariffs on Canadian imports. And if a small group of Republicans join in to pass it, the measure would go against the president's trade policies right before Wednesday's big rollout.
And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Coming up, Tulip Festival today. We'll tell you when is the best time to visit the attraction in Lewis to see the Maximo blooms.
Also, Ocean City bike safety efforts will tell you the proposed plans after town says responders dealt with over 20 accidents last summer.
And beach patrol progress. The updated look at the building in Rehoboth Beach and how soon you could be using its facilities. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
6:11 on this Tuesday morning. The rain is gone. The winds have kicked in and the skies are clearing on the Bay Health Cam. 50 degrees in Dover, feeling colder with the wind as we had all that rain move through last night. Now we're starting to see clearing skies behind that system as a cold front is sweeping the rain out to sea, and we're seeing gusty northwesterly winds. They'll be strong this morning, and we'll see sunshine as we go through the day. Temperatures continue to fall. 50 in Georgetown and Salisbury, 51 in Seaford, 53 in Bethany Beach. I think will fall into the 40s before those temperatures recover again back into the 50s. But winds gusting over 30 in Ocean City, Indian River Inlet. So it's really breezy out there. So make sure you have two hands on the steering wheel and watch for puddles and wet roads this morning. I gave it the yellow light for that, and might as well throw the wind in there too. Winds do calm down this afternoon, but still breezy and cool, but drying out for your PM commute.
Bob, and this just in, a road closure taking place in Salisbury could alter hospital traffic. The city says starting at 7 p.m. tonight, the area you see right there on your screen will close for the construction of stormwater management. This is on West Vine Street between Route 13 and Mitchell Street near Tidal Health Peninsula Regional. The closure is scheduled to last until April 18th at 5 p.m.
We have an updated look for you on your screen. We are showing you the progress of the new Rehoboth Beach Patrol headquarters. As you can see, it's getting close to completion. According to the city, the multi-million-dollar project is expected to be done by May 16th, and the upgraded building, it is going to feature public bathrooms and a welcoming space for visitors.
Restaurant chain Hooters is filing for bankruptcy protection. The company filed for bankruptcy in Texas on Monday, seeking to address its $376 million debt by selling all of its company-owned restaurants to a franchise group backed by the company's founders. In recent years, Hooters has struggled due to high inflation, the cost of labor and food, and declining spending by American consumers.
Here's one that could have bipartisan support. President Trump, joined by singer Kid Rock in the Oval Office Monday to sign an executive order to address ticket scalping. The order directs the Federal Trade Commission to review and address wrongful or unfair conduct in the secondary ticketing market, ensure price transparency, enforce the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, and work with the Attorney General to ensure the enforcement of competition laws. This comes after Ticketmaster settled a lawsuit with company investors around its alleged antitrust policies.
The rain has moved offshore. The clouds are following it on the Irish Eyes Cam, clearing out, but breezy and cool. 51 in Lewis right now, but watch for large puddles this morning and wet roads, but they'll quickly dry out as it will be breezy the next couple of days and cooler as well. And a warmer end to the week, and then the weekend's a little cooler, up and down, a little unsettled, maybe a few showers. Your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 6:16, and you're looking live at Rehoboth Beach as we await the sunrise. You get a little bit of hint of it there on the first day of April. Bob, I got to tell you, March, it went out like a lion. It's supposed to go out like a lamb.
Well, yeah, no, it did go out like a lion. Sometimes it goes out like a lamb, and sometimes it's a lion. And it was a lion-like last night. We had that tornado warning for Sussex County during the evening hours. No reports of any touchdowns or any damage across Sussex County or really much of our region for that fact. In fact, no wind reports in our neck of the woods. But up to the north, wires down in Kenton into Newcastle County near Smyrna, too, and northwest of Dover, they had some wind damage there. Also across southern parts of Jersey and eastern parts of Virginia, also some wind damage reports. For us, it was just a soaking rain that we picked up last night, and we picked up about 1.37 inches in Lewis. Georgetown, 1 inch in 1900s, 1.15 in Laurel, just shy of 1 inch in Delmarva and Millsboro, and Bethany Beach checking in with 87/100ths of an inch. So this is great. We still have some drought conditions, and this definitely puts a dent in that. Some of that heavier rain last night, we had the lightning as well, but that system now is long gone. We're starting to see breaks in the clouds, blue skies and clouds as a cold front is sweeping this all out to sea. You can see the rain quickly moving off to the northeast now, moving through Long Island into southern parts of New England, and as the cold front continues to push off the coast, we're seeing cooler and drier air building in with a northwesterly flow. With low pressure moving away and high pressure building in from the west, we've got a tight pressure gradient right in between. That is why it's so windy this morning. But as this area of high pressure back to our west moves closer to us, the winds will start to quiet down as we go through the evening hours. And then as that high moves over us tonight with light winds, make sure you protect your plant. chance we could see temperatures dipping into the 30s as we go into tomorrow morning. Right now, 50 in Salisbury, into Seaford and Georgetown, 50 in Milton as well. We could be dipping into the 40s as that cooler air is building in. We're seeing wind gusts now to 36 in Ocean City, 28 in Salisbury, and 36 miles per hour Indian River Inlet. So you secure those items for the rough weather last night. You want to continue to do that this morning with the gusty winds, with Futurecast showing temperatures dipping into the 40s temporarily and then back into the 50s by noon. The winds will back off and temperatures in the upper 50s away from the coast this afternoon, low to mid 50s at the coast. And then with clear skies and lighter winds tonight, temperatures will drop. But we could see an easterly wind that keeps you in the mid 40s tomorrow morning. But inland where it's calmer, I think we're looking at 30s and 40s. And I'm not thinking frost, but once again, just to err on the side of safety and protect your plants. And then for your Wednesday, we're looking at an onshore flow with some clouds in the afternoon and temperatures into the 50s. Those winds picking up tomorrow evening. They're gusty this morning, gusting to 30 miles per hour. And then they'll start to back off this afternoon and this evening and then shift to the east as we go into your Wednesday, keeping you cooler at the beaches. And then a little unsettled Friday into the weekend. We could be looking at hit and miss showers throughout the weekend. Really tough to time it out, but that's certainly a possibility. It won't be a washout by any means, but maybe a lot of clouds as we go into Sunday. Paul, they have a 7-day forecast, 57 today, upper 30s tonight away from the coast, so cover those plants. 56 on Wednesday, upper 70s Thursday, then that shower chance Friday, 72. A little cooler on Saturday, a chance of a shower, some clouds on Sunday, so kind of murky this weekend. 73 on Sunday, and then a few more showers on Monday, a little cooler, and 65.
Thank you, Bob. New this morning, the effort in Ocean City to lower the number of accidents involving bicycles. In 2024, there were 24 of those types of accidents. That number of 24, that's the most there's been in the town in over 4 years. The Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee has plans to make sure people are aware of bicyclists on the road. Some of these options include adding red paint, bike markings on Coastal Highway, paying for over 500 LED blinking lights for bicyclists, and some people living in Ocean City see the benefits of these plans.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think it could really help the safety of all the bicyclists.
And the committee will discuss these proposed changes with the Ocean City Council. That's supposed to be at a later date.
Up next on CoastTV News Today, Tulip Festival begins today. We'll show you the thousands of flowers set to be revealed and how long you can catch that attraction. Don't go anywhere.
Happening today, the 16th annual Lewis Tulip Celebration begins. Got an important note for you here. Organizers say they think the peak bloom will take place next week starting April 10th. That'll run through the 17th. They're saying this is due to the colder weather this year. They're expecting to have 31,000 tulips, 5,000 other spring bulbs. They'll be displayed across several locations. The celebration, it runs through April 20th.
Happening today, Beachgoers OC released the organization's cleanup dates, and the first date is set for today at 56th Street, then on April 8th on 94th Street, and on April 15th on Philadelphia Avenue and Worcester Street. For all of those cleanup days, the start time will be at 9 a.m. and it will end around 10 a.m. And if you need cleanup supplies, you can stop by Town Hall. And Matt, we talked about yesterday's weather. It was beautiful. It was 78 where I live. Bad news. Not really that bad. Bob says it's going to cool down.
It's going to cool down. I feel like that's par for the course. Bob, I saw 83 in Milton yesterday.
Okay.
It certainly felt like it.
Okay, I think I had 81 in Millsboro, so it got really toasty yesterday afternoon as we saw some of that sunshine. Thankfully, that front didn't come through during peak heating. Then we would have seen a lot of severe weather. But along the coast, small craft advisory, Delaware Bay, Atlantic Ocean, inland bays too. This is until 6 o'clock. We're looking at strong winds out there, Assateague and Chincoteague. Windy this morning to breezy this afternoon. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Waves 2 to 4 feet and moderate UV index. Fenwick Island and Ocean City, you're topping out into the mid to upper 50s, a little cooler. Next 3 days in Cambridge, we're looking at 2 cool days today and tomorrow. Upper 70s Thursday, and then for Crisfield, windy today 56, and then by Thursday looking at 72 with up and down temperatures, and the weekend could be a little unsettled. I'll have much more on your weekend forecast coming up in the next half hour.
After the break on CoastTV News Today, student looks to advise lawmakers. Will tell you how that could be the case if a bill in Wicomico gets approved.
Also, unemployment insurance issue, what Delaware is revealing about the program and how they are working to resolve it.
In tough tornado anniversary, we show you the impact of that severe storm on Delmarva on the heels of another event of severe weather overnight. Coast TV News Today will be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
The stormy weather is winding down. The rain will be replaced with sunshine, breezy, and cool conditions today and tomorrow. A warm-up for Thursday. Details coming up.
Delaware insurance issues. The state is admitting there are problems with the unemployment program while not stating what those problems are.
Development debate, the latest occurring during a public hearing in Lewis. We look at where the proposed Overfall Preserve project stands.
Student seat on board, that is what is being debated for Wycomico County's Board of Education today in Annapolis.
This is Coast TV News Today.
25, good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
The time is 6:29, and we are starting the first full month of spring.
That's right. You consider spring when
There's
April
so many
begins.
miles. You have meteorological spring that Bob talks about,
Yes.
the official first day,
Yes.
opening day baseball season, and then April 1st.
April is a good month. I'm a little biased for a particular reason.
Okay.
But yes.
Her birthday's in April, folks. That's why.
Yes, but Bob, last night, luckily, that storm that we had wasn't as severe as it could have been.
No, it was not. And yeah, no, we did luck out. We had the heavy rain last night. We had that tornado warning yesterday evening in Sussex County, but thankfully, no reports of a touchdown. We had rotation aloft with this system, but we are void of any wind damage reports or anything across Sussex County. That's certainly good news, as it was mainly a rain event for us. But farther to the north, Newcastle County up near Smyrna, Middletown, and Dover, you had wind damage reports there. Also, eastern parts of Virginia as well. But we lucked out, but we had the soaking rain where we picked up at least an inch of rain, and I'll take a look at those rainfall totals coming up shortly. But we are looking at skies beginning to clear out now as we had a cold front swing through, and now that cold front has moved offshore, and it's taken the rain quickly with it, zipping off to the north and east. Still some rain around Long Island and southern New England, but for us, it's a chilly northwesterly flow, so we're going to dry it out, and it's going to be breezy this morning, and then those winds will start to die down this afternoon. But it's 50 in Seaford, 50 in Milton and Salisbury, so those temperatures continue to sink behind the cold front, 53 in Ocean City. And I think we'll dip into the 40s before those temperatures rebound again into the 50s later on. And those winds are really picking up, gusting to 36 in Ocean City, 34 Indian River Inlet. So you had those items secured or stowed away with the rough weather last night. Still do that this morning because we're looking at the strong winds, which will ease off this afternoon. As we're clearing out the clouds, we're still breezy this morning, and with temperatures in the 40s and strong winds, it's going to feel even colder than that. Then we bounce back into the 50s. The winds do quiet down this afternoon. I think we're topping out in the upper 50s away from the coast, cooler at the beaches, and then even lighter winds as we go into this evening. So use caution this morning for the wind, and also still large puddles, wet roads. So I gave it the yellow light for the morning commute. Much better for the afternoon and evening commute. Gave it the green light for breezy and cool conditions at that time.
Thank you so much, Bob. And we have seen dangerous, in fact, deadly storms this time of year. Today marks the 2-year anniversary of a tornado that ripped through western Sussex County. It would end up being confirmed as an EF3 tornado, and that tornado leveled a 120-year-old home along Tuckers Road in Greenwood. Inside was 77-year-old Dan Bowell, who died during that impact. Bowell was the first person to die from a Delaware tornado in 40 years. The National Weather Service said that tornado was 14.3 miles long with peak winds of 140 miles per hour.
Then we move on. We got developing news out of Delaware state government. In a statement, Governor Matt Meyer and the Department of Labor saying there are long-standing issues with the state's unemployment insurance program. They say recent audits have pointed out the ongoing problems with the system's finance and operations. However, it's not really clear because no details over what these issues are was given. Both Meyer and Secretary of Labor Lucretia Moultrie say steps are being taken to bring the department into full compliance with both state and federal standards.
Happening today in Annapolis, more debate on a bill that, if approved in the Maryland General Assembly, could change the makeup of the Wicomico County Board of Education. At least one student would be added to the board, and these would be students from 11th or 12th grade who are in good standing. The student position would be an advisory role and not have the ability to vote on a policy. That bill has already been approved by the House of Delegates. Today we'll get a hearing in the Senate's Education, Energy, and Environment Committee.
In Worcester County, proposed updates to the master water and sewage plan. This includes changes at Ocean Downs. The casino is requesting its 100,000-gallon steel water tank be replaced with one that could hold 50,000 more. The commissioners will also present projects that connect Mystic Harbor and Riddle Farm with the Herring Creek water main, and also the Mystic Harbor water plant and building rehabilitation. There's a public hearing on all of this at the morning meeting in Snow Hill. And Melissa, an update on progress. Also some pushback at a Monday night public hearing of the proposed Overfall Preserve development, a plot of land that we're going to show you on your screen. This is where the site will be, located off of Savannah Road, if approved. The Lewis Planning Commission is recommending a traffic study be done before any construction starts on the site. One man we spoke with welcomes the growth, saying that the project could be positive in what it brings.
Let the growth happen, but be relaxed about it. And if you think traffic's bad here, go to New York or Washington or Los Angeles. It's not that bad here. We have it great. We're at the beach and life is good. So let the growth happen slowly.
I reached out to the developer on this project. I've not heard back yet. And according to the council, any other public comments, they can be mailed or emailed to the city through April 11th at 4 p.m.
We are now taking a live look at our nation's capital. President Donald Trump says he plans to announce broad reciprocal tariffs tomorrow. It's unclear what they'll entail, with the White House saying he was still deciding as of yesterday. But Trump promises to reshape U.S. trade policies in a way that benefits Americans.
However, some economists don't see it that way. Amy Kiley shows us the efforts to mitigate impacts and prepare for retaliatory measures that are underway around the world.
I think everybody's concerned.
A final scramble is underway ahead of tomorrow's planned unveiling of President Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs.
They're reciprocal, so whatever they charge us, we charge them, but we're being nicer than they were.
Some international leaders are trying to mitigate impacts, and the U.S. Senate is expected to take up a resolution aimed at blocking the tariffs on Canadian goods. Only a small handful of Republicans say they might join Democrats in supporting it, but others are voicing concerns.
Tariffs will create pain for some businesses, and I think Wisconsin will be particularly hard hit with all the manufacturing and agricultural interests.
We've already heard from some of our beef processors and popcorn exporters that they're losing some market share in Europe.
Meanwhile, some countries are preparing to retaliate against the U.S. South Korea, China, and Japan say they're planning a joint response. Other nations say they're working on measures, too. The final part of today's scramble involves messaging.
It will be Liberation Day in America.
The U.S. stock market is coming off its worst quarter in years. Goldman Sachs says a recession is now more likely due to tariffs, but Trump and his allies promise a bright future with more domestic manufacturing.
We have to get factors in place in these unfair trade laws to where they don't drive a race to the bottom.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Elections in two states today could offer a glimpse of public opinion on president's agenda so far. In Wisconsin, Trump advisor Elon Musk has poured millions into a state Supreme Court race. The results there could lead to redrawing of the key battlegrounds congressional maps. While in Florida, special elections decide who fills 2 congressional seats left vacant by Trump appointees, with Republicans eager to protect their razor-thin majority in the House, and some voicing concern over Trump's trade war economic impact.
There are other races, that might be swayed by what we decide here too. So we need to keep fighting.
And the White House short on details so far about each country will be taxed in the newest round and on which products, promising answers in a Rose Garden event tomorrow.
Still have more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Seaford debates business development. We'll show you the concerns over that project as its mayor says it would bring more jobs.
Also, Orioles NAB opening day win. We have the report from Camden Yards on the successful start to the season for the Birds.
6:39 on a breezy Tuesday morning. The rain has moved off the coast. Now we're seeing a mix of clouds and blue skies, and it's breezy out there. And it's 50 in Laurel right now. Temperatures still falling after we had that soaking last night. Now we're starting to dry things out and clear it out as well as a cold front is sliding offshore. But those winds are howling out of the northwest as low pressure is moving off to the north and east, and high pressure is building in from the west. Down to 49 in Milton, 50 in Georgetown. So I think a lot of us will dip into the 40s before the temperatures rebound, but we're gusting 36 miles per hour in Ocean City, 34 at Indian River Inlet, and 19 in Millsboro. And today's checklist is drive with caution with the wet roads, the large puddles, and the breezy condition. Make sure you have a windbreaker too, and keep those outdoor items secured because it is windy this morning, and make sure the sunscreen and sunglasses are with you today. Congratulations to Ben from Lewis. He is our latest umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff.
A historic space flight is underway to an orbit never flown by astronauts. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket blasted into the night sky from Cape Canaveral at 9:46 Eastern Time Monday. The FRAM-2 mission is carrying the first all-civilian crew into orbit for a flight around, get this, the North and the South Poles. All 4 crew members are explorers of extreme places on Earth, such as the polar regions, and the crew is expected to spend 3 to 5 days in orbit, and then they'll splash down off of the coast of California.
The city of Salisbury is hosting its annual marathon, half marathon, and 5K races this weekend, and there will be closures in effect. The city says the race happens on April 5th, and the downtown plaza will be closed beginning April 4th at 1 p.m. More closures are expected April 5th from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Now that is what it's all about. And Cedric Mullins had an opening day here at Camden Yards to remember. The former Shorebird opened his 8th home opener here in Baltimore with a 4 RBI day, including a decisive blow in the 8th inning that helped the Orioles win this one 8-5 over the Red Sox to improve to 3-2 on the season. Let's get into the highlights. In a game that was moved up 30 minutes due to impending weather, the early start did not affect the O's bats. Tyler O'Neill ripped an RBI single against his former team, and then Mullins socked a 2-run double off the wall and right. Baltimore plates 4 in the first inning. To the 7th we go. Rafael Devers facing Keegan Aiken, his 3rd strikeout of the day. Devers with 15 strikeouts in his first 19 at-bats this season. Still a 1-run game. We head to the bottom of the 8th when Baltimore plays some small ball, and it's another low light for Boston. Sox third baseman Alex Bregman gets a face full of Maryland mud trying to throw to second. The Baltimore dugout loves it. And then Mullins does more damage. This time, an RBI single up the middle that plates 2. Give him 4 on the afternoon. Orioles led it 8-3 at that point, and Felix Bautista would shut the door. You'll just have to wait until Wednesday for more fireworks. Orioles and Red Sox play again tomorrow night at 6:35 before finishing this series on Thursday. Reporting from Camden Yards, Tim Nolan, DSN.
About 2 hours north of where Tim was, Kyle Schwarber was doing this in the 7th inning. 2-run Jack City. It's one of 3 homers on the day for the Phillies as they treat their fans to a 6-1 opening day win over the Rockies. And coming up tonight on DSN at 4, we have live Bayside Conference softball, Decatur hosting Parkside. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30 on the DSN Plus app. Along with that softball game at 4, we also have boys high school lacrosse with Worcester Prep hosting Bennett. 5:30, Sussex Central's home with Cesar Rodney. That's in girls soccer. Indian River takes on Delmar at 6:30. Cape is home with Smyrna.
And here's a look at what's coming up this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Well, we hope you're having a good day so far here along coastal Delmarva, but a way to make it a little bit brighter to see what's coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. Of course, we're ready for that spring weather. No matter how you're stepping into it, you want to do it in style with our friends at Vernon Powell.
Plus, we're going to have a heated debate. It's a big one this week, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet versus salty, which is better? I have thoughts, so does Leah.
Yes, I do, and I'm standing my ground on those thoughts. We're also, speaking of snacks, going to stop by a great restaurant, Forgotten 50 in Berlin, to see what's cooking there. All that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life.
Skies are clearing out. The rain is moving offshore. Irish Ice Camp 50 in Lewis right now. It's breezy. Hang on to your hat. Watch for large puddles this morning. The roads will dry out as it's cooler the next couple of days and then warmer for the end of the weekend. Right now, the weekend looking maybe a little unsettled with a few showers. I'll have your forecast details, including rainfall totals from last night, coming up in 2 minutes.
The time is 6:47 and we're taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning. And Bob, we see that sun starting to peek out, which is a good sign. It was raining this morning, obviously rained last night, but luckily it's okay today because of that weather.
That's right. And we remain unscathed from last night's stormy weather, Lisa. We lucked out. We had that tornado warning yesterday evening. We have not seen any proof of any damage on the ground. I think it was rotation in the upper layers of the storm, upper levels of the storm. Otherwise, void of any storm reports across Sussex County, back through Salisbury, Wycomico, Worcester County. So we lucked out. We just got some gusty winds and some heavier rain. Thunderstorm wind damage, however, farther north into Kenton, into Newcastle County, Smyrna, Middletown had some wind damage, northwest of Dover, even into southern parts of New Jersey. They had some tornado warnings there as well, but no reports there. And also some wind reports across eastern parts of Virginia. But it was the rain. It was a soaking rain for us overnight. And this is great news as we're still battling dry conditions across the area. 1.37 inches of rain in Lewis, Georgetown 1.19, Laurel 1.15, and just shy of an inch of rain in Delmarva with 9,800s in Millsboro, Bethany Beach at 8,700s. As we saw the last of that rain moving offshore around 4 a.m. or so, and then it got breezy, and we're starting to clear the skies out now too, as a cold front has now pushed offshore, taking the stormy weather with it. Now that rain rapidly moving off to the northeast past Long Island and Cape Cod and southern New England. For us, it's a chillier northwesterly flow, and between low pressure to the east and high pressure to the west, we have that pressure gradient, that strong wind, and that wind will be strong this morning and then start to back off this afternoon and this evening as high pressure now back to our west will head our way, and that will ease the winds as we go into the afternoon. But as that high moves over us tonight, it could be maybe a little frosty inland areas, a little marginal, but protect your plants anyway, inland areas tomorrow morning. Right now it's 49 in Milton and Rehoboth, and now it just updated in Seaford, 49. Temperatures still dipping behind that cold front, 51 in Ocean Pines, and those winds are strong, gusting to 36 in Ocean City, 30 at Indian River Inlet, and 18 in Millsboro. We'll see those gusty winds this morning, clouds continuing to decrease, and we'll see temperatures dipping into the 40s and then rebounding back into the 50s. So by mid-afternoon, upper 50s inland, lighter winds, low to mid-50s at the coast, and then clear skies tonight. I think the breeze will keep you, well, a little milder at the beaches with mid-40s, but inland areas where it's calm, upper 30s, that's where you want to protect the plants. And then Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures once again into the 50s, kind of a cool east-north, east-southeast flow as we go into the afternoon hours, and the kind of breezy as we go into tomorrow evening with temperatures in the low 50s. Those winds gusty this morning up to about 30 miles per hour. They do start to diminish as we go into the afternoon, and then they swing to the east tomorrow, keeping you cooler at the coast. And as we go into the end of the week, it gets a little unsettled, cloudy, maybe a few showers. This is not going to be a washout, but I think we could see some showers kind of hanging around Friday through Saturday and Sunday as well. So it's not going to wash away your plans, but keep the umbrella handy as we go into the weekend. Here's your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. 50s today and tomorrow. Cold tomorrow morning, 38 degrees, and then it's up to 78 on Thursday, and then a few showers Friday, 72, and then unsettled into the weekend, a cooler 64 on Saturday, kind of cloudy, warmer on Sunday, and then a few more showers Monday and 65.
Bob, one Sussex County city could eventually be home to a new business park and sports complex. The Seaford Mayor and City Council recently approved preliminary site plans for the 1.3 million square foot attraction be built on the north side of the city along Route 13. Mayor Matt McCoy says he believes the project would bring jobs and opportunity for youth to the area. Some neighbors are lending their support to the proposal. Some others say they have concerns.
I think the idea of having an area where kids can go now and play, potentially, have athletic facilities, I think that gives them that ability to do that. So it'd be great.
Oftentimes the idea is a lot better than the execution. So things get really, really hyped up and promises are made, but then those promises are not kept.
McCoy says planning for the project is still in the early stages. Developers say with final approval from DelDOT, this project could take 5 to 10 years to complete and cost $125 to $150 million there in Seaford.
The time is now 6:52, so we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day, we got a playful pup on your screen. Take a look at Bella. As you can see by where she is laying in this picture, Bella loves to play with that cat bed. Bella was submitted to us by Mike and Cindy in Selbyville.
But I wonder if the cat likes to play with Bella.
That is the question.
I know. Well, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Make sure you send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Yeah, scan that QR code at the top to get your friends to us here. And then you can watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:55, and here are the things you need to know before you go. Delaware's Department of Labor says it is working to fix long-standing issues with unemployment insurance program. Recent audits have pointed out ongoing problems with the system's finances and operations. The Secretary of Labor and Governor Matt Meyer say they plan to modernize operations and provide regular updates to keep the public informed.
The 16th annual Lewis Tulip Celebration is back. It starts today. It runs through April 20th. An important note here, organizers say they think the peak bloom will be between April 10th and 17th. It's due to this year's cold weather. They're expected to have 31,000 tulips and 5,000 other spring bulbs spread out through several locations there in the Lewis area.
And it is 6:56. We're going to take another quick look at your April 1st forecast.
Bit of a breezy day if you're going to go look at tulips or other things along the coast, Bob.
Yeah, and boy, the flowers are looking great. A lot of daffodils, all those early flowers are out. The trees are blooming as well. And thankfully, we came away unscathed from the severe weather last night. We had a tornado warning last night, so thankfully we didn't do a repeat of what we had 2 years ago with that deadly tornado. There was no storm damage overnight, just a lot of rain. But that rain is now gone. We're looking at breezy conditions this morning. In fact, those winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. So you secured the items last night for the rough weather. Continue to do that this morning. And the wind should start to back off this afternoon and this evening as temperatures top out in the upper 50s. I'm going around 57 for the high. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Interior areas tomorrow. Not a bad idea to cover or bring in the plants just in case. I don't think we're looking at a frost, but get down to 38 and maybe even colder in some spots. Could be a little frosty. Otherwise, another cool day Wednesday, 56. We bounce it up to 78 on Thursday. Then it starts getting a little unsettled Friday into the weekend. Maybe a few hit and miss showers. 72 Friday, 64 Saturday. Still kind of cloudy on Sunday and showery next Monday. And still kind of up and down as we transition through the first part of spring. But nothing really organized or heavy as far as rain.
And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11, so stick with us then.
And for more news and coverage in Count On, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Tuesday morning, everybody.